I'm going to give you a very brief introduction to Andalusian Spanish, and I want you to hear to the speaker's pronunciation and the way he finishes every word. And I will be doing some commentary on some of the issues that he talks about in this interview.
¿Cuáles son para ti las señas del andaluz? ¿Qué nos diferencia del español?
Lo que yo considero que es la base de toda nuestra cultura es la comunicación. Es decir, el hecho del intercambio oral continuo, una hora, un año, otro siglo.
So he's talking about how the basis of Andalus is oral communication. He talks about communication, but he means oral communication. And this is also favored by the climate of Andalusia. And also, I would say, even by the economy of Andalusia, which has always been agriculturally based. So it really favors the outdoors and the constant social exchange, and in that way oral communication is key to understand how Andalusian evolved, and he's going to keep going about how oral communication has to be effective. And I want you to listen to him carefully and see how he pronounces certain words, and I'll tell you what to focus on later on.
Las horas que los andaluces emplean hablando, y además que lo que digo está refrendado por los mejores lingüistas de Europa, aunque muchos de los lingüistas intermedios no se han enterado, es que lo mejor que hace el pueblo andaluz es hablar. Es decir, no solo hablar, sino todo lo que tiene que ver con el habla. Entre las dos cosas que necesitan, que potencian más y aprovechan más el uso de los recursos de la lengua.
So if you pay close attention, he for instance speaks of hablar, or sometimes he interchanges hablar for hablar, but then what he's doing is opening that final a in for the infinitive hablar. Instead of hablar, say hablar, and he does that when there are plurals too. So he would say casas instead of he would say casa instead of casas, for instance. But then he's gonna keep on going into how humor and poetry are key to understand Andalusian and the effectiveness of oral communication.
Entre eso está, pues, el humor y la poesía. Bueno, pues fíjate, en poesía, el pueblo andaluz, pues, ¿qué quieres que te diga? La generación del 27, no te hablemos del siglo de oro y esas cosas, que es lo más gordo que ha pasado en poesía, pues el 95% de los poetas eran andaluces.
So if you think about it, humor and poetry are essential in oral communication because they're basically spoken forms of literature. They need to be very concise, very effective in the amount of words they use. And Andalusian, precisely because it developed as a form of oral communication and was never written, it was never formalized as a written Spanish, it really favors that economy of the language. And if you think about it, it's really not by chance that many of the most important Spanish poets were from Andalusia, which is not to say there are not very important Spanish poets from other part of the country. But there's a overrepresentation of Andalusian poets, especially the very well-known ones. If you think about Federico García Lorca, Rafael Alberti, María Zambrano, you go back to Gustavo Adolfo Bécquer, and many others, they came from Andalusia. And this is probably because they were already very much trained into that economy of the language that favors poetry and humor.
La pata por lo alto. Y el humor, pues no digamos. El humor no es que sea, por supuesto, exclusivo de ningún pueblo. Lo que pasa es que cuando se practica mucho la comunicación y se adquieren muchas destrezas de habla y mucha economía del lenguaje, pues que hay cosas que caen por su propio peso.
then humor, and this is an important point because Andalusians have always been characterized as being very funny and outgoing, and it probably has, and then that is being related to the way we speak too. And if you think about it, really, the way you train in humor is precisely uh, by 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 socially engaging with other people. Humor is barely written and mostly spoken. So if you have a set of people that are continuously uh, socially interacting with each other and practicing this type of communication that is more and more effective and tends to be more and more precise and tends to be more and more economic. Humor seems to be a byproduct of the language, and therefore, because of this, Andalusians have been usually equated with funny and outgoing, and it really is a byproduct of our social context and our linguistic production.
Sencillamente nos han enseñado mal en eso. Es decir, los maestros nos han corregido que no podemos decir, yo qué sé, no podemos decir hacha, cuando esa hacha pirada que se pronuncia ahí es el resto de una F latina que estamos conservando. Y muchas veces.
Think about one example to give you of Andalusian and how we have always told that this is wrong in Spanish, but it actually comes from Latin. The hacha in Castilian Spanish, that H is not pronounced. In Andalusian, we do pronounce that H, and we say hacha, where it's an aspirated H that actually comes from Latin, from the old F in Latin. And then he's going to go into the triple negation, which is it's a really fun example.
La propia sintaxis, la propia elaboración de la frase. Cuando se pone, cuando a ti te responden una negación tan complicada y tan bonita, dice, oye, vaya Rocío este año, dice, no, ni nada. Fíjate con 3 palabras lo que se hace. Hasta suena precioso, porque son 3 N y nada más que cambiándole una vocal a cada una detrás de la N, pues ya construye una frase sintácticamente que podía ser larguísima. No te creas que no voy a ir al Rocío, no hay nada que pueda impedir que yo vaya.
So the second example is the triple negation no ni na, which is a very common expression in Andalusia. And this triple expression, what he says precisely, and it keep repeating the idea that you started with, which is the economy of the language. It really favors the economy of the language because this no ni na, this triple negation, actually, it's an emphatic affirmation that in Spanish, in Castilian Spanish, could be translated as no te creas que no voy a ir, no hay nada que pueda impedirlo. It's a much longer sentence, and when you use this this really short expression, everybody will understand that of course you will go, and in just a few seconds you have communicated your language very effectively. And with this, we're going to finish this very brief introduction of Andalusian.